I found a hole in which the pagans came in. I'm guessing they used a bomb or something because the wall was in shambles. The hole is so large that it will take quite a lot to block it. What will we do if the pagans try to push through again? I took a look around, and it seems the leader of the pagans is somewhere nearby. Couldn't that information be used to earn enough time to block the wall? Rune Hunter, please do something. was right? I can only imagine what could have happened if we didn't. All right, shall we block the wall now? Just leave it to Hellman.
You stopped the pagans flawlessly. That proves you're not a pagan. And as you can see, I'm no pagan either. It appears we don't have any business with each other. Let's part ways in peace. And by the way, the Terras are attacking the castle walls at the moment. It seems like an emergency. You should hurry back up there.
Rune Hunter, I have terrible news. The terrorists...
You found Werder, friend of Rune Hunter Lewin, who lost his way in the underground tunnel for hours. Werder said Lewin's ego is too high for someone who has terrible sense of direction, but seemed relieved to hear that his friend was safe. You felt a tingling sensation of jealousy for their friendship. Rune Hunter Maxim was thankful that you healed his wounds from the battle against the Terras. If someone you can trust your back with is a friend, like Maxim said, you wondered who could be that friend for you. But then you realized that you already had someone like that. Pan. As you continued your journey, you found the dying Rune Hunter named Ethid. He said he was more scared of being forgotten than the fact that he was dying, and left a will to you, asking you to remember his name. You couldn't forget his name even after you left the underground tunnel. Whenever you remembered Ethid's eyes, you felt like something was suffocating you. Even amidst the chaos, the pagan missionary Nader was carrying out his work. When you told him you were not interested, he changed abruptly and started attacking you. Even as you shuddered at their abnormal faith, you wondered where that kind of deep faith came from. You delivered the relief supplies to companions of Guard Russ at his request. Oswin teared up at Russ's thoughtfulness, and Ralphie said he would focus once again on the battle and do his best. Though they were far apart, their bond appeared closer than actual brothers. Laborer Hellman had sharp eyes and dexterous hands. He worked on the walls that the pagans destroyed with bombs. The pagans were broken up with the defeat of Radonimo Bishop Sigru, and once their withdrawal route was blocked, they were forced to surrender. You defeated Echidna using the information you got from rune hunter Aaron. At first, Aaron said that the information was for other rune hunters, but when you told him you defeated Echidna, he got mad. You were dumbfounded, but you knew that Aaron getting mad like that wouldn't change anything, and felt better afterwards. As you arrived at Calicorda, the guards were suspicious of you and tied you up. You told Aphros Knight, Captain Kristen, about the pagans to clear up the misunderstanding, but he refuted your report, saying it was absurd. Kristen said you were just one of many rune hunters who wanted to get to Bellatus, and that if you wanted to get past the gate, you should help defeat the Terras. You headed to the underground tunnel to defeat the Terras, and on the way down, you saw a group of pagans who were wearing the same outfit as the bishop you saw at Mallow Front. It looked like the Knight Captain still didn't take the pagan problem seriously. He said he couldn't send reinforcements and told you to take care of it. You had no other choice but to follow the pagans to find out what they were up to, and you saw them moving quickly in order along the castle walls. As you defeated the pagans, you reached the solitary area. The place was filled with green smoke, and prisoners who inhaled the smoke mutated and attacked you. You couldn't help but be astounded at the grotesque sight. Lavia, the first prince of Traia, was imprisoned in the solitary area. Lavia was saying how it was unacceptable that he was imprisoned there without even knowing why. You decided to look the other way when he said he would escape with the help of a henchman. When you returned to the Fortress Plaza, you reported on what you saw and heard, except the story of Lavia. Kristen asked you to find where the pagans were coming from, and Fred said you might have spread the plague in the solitary area, and warned you to not do anything suspicious. You succeeded in stopping the pagans at the 3rd floor of the underground waterway and ran into a mysterious man. The pitch-black hair of the man made him look cynical, and his eyes were as sharp as if they were hiding daggers. You have no idea how he knew, but he told you to head back up since the Terras were attacking the castle walls.
Years ago, the nation of Traia formed the Trom Alliance of 11 nations with the goal of launching an expedition towards Bellatus. The alliance managed to conquer half of Bellatus in just 10 days, but a war broke out amongst the member nations of the alliance over the spoils of the expedition. The other 10 nations claimed Traia was responsible for starting this war by creating the alliance, and demanded compensations for the damages they've received. And the nation of Aphros claimed the wastelands that belonged to Traia as a part of the peace agreement. Mastering the power of runes is one of the few methods of approaching the primal divinities. According to the research that has been conducted for around 200 years, rune users have experienced an ascendance in power after being called on by the 12 primal beings as they reached a certain level of mastery. This particular phenomenon was named Zodiac, while those pursuing the mastery of runes were named Zodiac Walkers. And upon mastering their path, they were named Zodiac Masters. Runes and essences are ancient artifacts that are mainly found around Traia. In the past, they were only valued for their rarity and beautiful aesthetics, as no one knew about their true uses. However, studies based on ancient records revealed that the runes hold powers of the ancient gods, and soon enough, the people of Traia created a device called a rune cast to utilize these runes in combat.
Morris was once the deputy captain of the Aphros Guards. I fell in love with his leadership that shined bright like the stars in the barren wasteland. That was how we naturally fell in love. Just like anyone else, we wanted a normal, happy family. But a normal, happy family requires a lot of money. Morris began using his position to steal valuables from rune hunters. In the end, he was caught in the act and discharged from the guards. But then, he began uniting the nearby bandits to create a group that is known as the Wasteland Bandits today. From Jenny.
You noticed the word Jenny embroidered on Morris's wristband and sent a letter to Jenny at Mallow Front. Jenny replied to the letter, confessing that they had been lovers in the past and explaining how Morris started the Wasteland Bandits. After learning of the story, you came to think how tragic it was.
The Aphros wasteland is a barren location not fit for flowers to bloom. But one day, one of our scouts reported about observing a strange occurrence. According to the report, the empty hills are now filled with lilacs and that Paxo was caring for them. But when we visited the hill again, there were no signs of any lilacs. However, we did find seeds which led us to believe that the scout's report could have been true. Perhaps the dimps that settled down here in the past lived on while taking care of the lilacs. From Wheeler.
When you handed over the flower seeds from Pacaso, Mallow Front's administrator Willen told you about something like a mirage that a patrol had seen in the past. Now that you think about it, you might have smelled something strange when you entered the Cave of Echoes where Pacaso was. Just like Willen wrote in the letter, Pacaso and the Dimps might have been the race that lived in the wasteland growing lilacs.
The people of Trom regarded Bellatus as the cursed lands for a very long time. The main reason behind this belief was due to the strange and unconfirmed stories from Bellatus that scared the people of Trom. These stories usually spoke of people coming back from the dead in Bellatus. And sometimes there are stories that link serpents, the 13th primal being, the evil god, as well. This is mainly suspected to be due to the teachings of the Redonimo pagans. Between King Olden and Queen Romalda, there were two princes, Lovia and Quid. In regular circumstances, it would be Prince Lovia who would succeed the throne, but King Olden adopted a stepson and designated him as the heir to his throne. Those who supported the change supported King Olden, and those who wished to remain conservative supported Queen Romalda. The clash between the two groups led to an internal conflict within the kingdom, which, in turn, resulted in the Bellatus expedition, which is widely acknowledged to be the byproduct of the conflicts regarding the heir to the throne.
What a cute child. Based on the portrait you sent, I assume the child is about 4 years old? It's a pity that the child had to go through such a terrible experience, even before learning about the world. Rune Hunter, when a portrait is drawn in this style, it signifies that the person died of a disease. A child dying of a disease is nothing unheard of, but it is still unfortunate. If it were my child, it would have clearly scarred me forever. From Calicorta bartender Warada.
Bartender Waruda pointed out that the portrait from Sigru was drawn in just black and blue, and said how that was a way to express someone who had passed away from a disease. From those words, you couldn't help but recall the Redonimo followers shouting out the history of revival at the underground tunnel. Perhaps Sigru had fallen into paganism out of the wish to bring back his son from the dead.